Hey everyone, John Stessel here with Bicycle Cards, and today on Card Class, we are going to learn the nuances to vanishing playing cards. Let's do it. On today's Card Class, we're going to learn 3 vanish techniques: an Optical Vanish, the Tenkai Vanish, and the Back Palm Vanish. This is the verbal walkthrough for the Optical Vanish. The Optical Vanish is super easy to learn. All that's happening is, as the card is passing through the hand, you're slowly making a fist to conceal the card, and then you're bringing it back as you move past the hand. In one action, it gives the brief appearance for only a second or two that the card may have disappeared. The way it works is simply you hold the card in your right hand with your pointer, middle, ring, and pinky on the bottom edge of the ace of spades, and then your thumb right on the middle of the card. Now, all you have to do to make this card appear like it vanishes is just make a fist. So slowly curl in your 4 fingers. Doing this as your hand is placed in front will give the appearance that for a second, that card is vanishing. The next vanish that we're gonna learn is the Tenkai Pump. The Tenkai Pump is named after the magician who created it, Teijiro Ishida. He was a Japanese magician, and on stage he went by Tenkai, hence the name the Tenkai Pump. The Tenkai Pump also dates back to the early 1900s. This is your verbal walkthrough for the Tenkai Pump. To begin, take your right hand and with your middle and pointer finger, pinch the top right corner of the playing card. If the card is facing you, you'll be grabbing the top pip. For example, on the ace of spades, I'm grabbing the top pip and it's right up to the first knuckle. What you're then going to do is by moving your middle and pointer finger and curling them inward, you're going to slowly bring that card into the base of your palm. Slowly curl your fingers inward towards the base of your palm. Then take your thumb and reach over and grab the long edge of the card right by your pointer and middle finger. Next, remove your middle finger and pointer finger, letting your thumb keep the card by the base of your palm and the base of the thumb. What this should do from the front is make it look like the card has vanished, and you can wiggle your fingers to show that the card is gone. But secretly, it is concealed by being held with your thumb. Next, to bring the card back, reverse the action. So bring your middle finger under the card, pointer finger on top of the card, pinch the card between your pointer and middle, release your thumb, and then bring the card forward. This will make the card look like it vanishes and reappears, just like that. Next up, we're gonna learn the back palm. The back palm actually has a very rich history in magic. It dates back to the early 1800s, and it was popularized by Otto Mauer, Dr. James Eliot, and of course, Harry Houdini. This is the verbal walkthrough for the Back Palm Vanish. In order to better understand the move, I'm going to remove the card to teach you the hand positioning. What you're gonna do is use your right hand and put all of your fingers together and make sure they are touching. Next, you're going to curl in your ring and middle finger and have them touch your thumb, just like this. Next, you're going to bring your pinky and pointer finger in to meet your middle and ring, but have them touch the entire way down. Next, with your hand closed in this little fist, slowly open your fingers up, making sure they remain touching the entire way. This is the mechanics for the back palm. Once you add the playing card, you do the same mechanics. You bring in your ring and middle finger, thumb holding the card in place. You then close your pointer and pinky around the card, thus causing the card to bend. As you can see, it's bending. And you can now remove your thumb. Now, keeping all the fingers together, you slowly open your hand, placing that card in the back palm behind the hand. To bring the card back, you simply reverse the action. You make a fist, your thumb grabs on top, your pointer and pinky open, and then your ring and middle open. And that's how the card comes back. Now that you've learned all three vanishes, let's see how you can put them into a routine. Watch the ace of spades. If I just wave it past my hand, it almost looks like it disappears for a second. And then you'd swear that it actually kind of vanishes and comes back. And then one last time, if I squeeze it, I can actually make it disappear and then reappear, just like that. In order to combine these moves into a routine, what I begin by doing is starting with the Optical Vanish. After the Optical Vanish, I turn my body from what's front facing, I slowly pivot to the left so that my spectators see the back of my right hand so that I can do the Tenkai Pump. I then bring the Tenkai Pump back and I use my left hand as misdirection as if the card actually does vanish. Then I bring it back. Then I slowly move my body from left to right so that I can display the card before I do the back palm. And then I do this one little sneaky thing where I come over with my left hand and make it look like I grab the card, when in reality, I'm just accomplishing the back palm. This gives a nice little moment where you can actually make it seem like the card vanished, especially if you're not totally comfortable with your back palm yet. So I end by doing this little palm, making it vanish, and then making the card reappear one last time. And that's how to use all three vanishes in a seamless vanishing sequence. Here are some final thoughts on the Optical Vanish. Make sure when the card is passing through your hand, you do it once where nothing happens. And then on the second time, as the card gets halfway behind your hand, that's when I'd start making the fist and going downward. Because if you wait too long, they're gonna see the card go. So wait until the card is halfway behind the hand, then make your fist as you finish through, and then bring the card back up. Here are some final thoughts on the Tenkai Pump. It's very important that when you make the card vanish, that you point the back of your hand towards the eye of the spectator. In this case, for me, I'm pointing it at the camera, but if it's for you, point it at the eye of the spectator. It's gonna take some practice, and the best way to get used to this is trial and error by doing it to yourself in a mirror. Get it until you see that the card looks like it disappears, but always remember to point the back of your palm at the spectator's eye line. This will ensure that the vanish actually looks like a vanish. These are my final thoughts on the back palm. Let me first begin by saying I know this move is very daunting, so it may take 10, 15, 30, 50 tries to get it down right, but take your time, make sure you practice, and don't get discouraged if you can't get it right at first. It's a little knacky. Next, don't be discouraged if when you first begin, you can see the corners. This is gonna be a thing that takes a lot of practice to get it where you can't see them at all. And you can also get around this by waving your hand. Lastly, don't get discouraged. You're gonna drop the card a lot. I do all the time, and it is okay. So take your time, practice in the mirror. It might take you 10, 20, 50 tries, but I'm sure you will get the hang of it eventually as long as you keep practicing. All right, everyone, this wraps up this week's episode of Card Class. I'm your host, John Stessel with Bicycle Cards. If you like what you're learning, please post a video and tag us at Official Bicycle Cards. We would love to see you use these vanishes in real life. All right, everybody, see you next Monday.